Okay, good. That's one. Still don't know why that one doesn't quite work right. We'll figure it out sooner or later. And there we go. We can now bring up YouTube. There it is. We mute. We start it up. Not sure why it doesn't show up there. Hi, guys. It's me again. Here to spoil your otherwise super Sunday. The team that plays near me is winning right now. But if I really, really cared, I wouldn't be streaming. I'd be watching. I want them to win. Alright, just a little bit more XP and we'll hit 20, which is my objective for this character. And then we'll pop over to Everlasting and probably move a character over here for the XP bonus. Because experience points. I like them. And I cannot lie. Show me your wares, temporary powers, buffs, experience booster, and give me 2. Nom nom nom. Hey, Nod Knocks. Good evening. Morning. Both. At one and the same time. Both good morning and good evening. To you, Old Blister Lips. That was mean. We've got the 3 boys and their big brother. And everybody's got their weapons. I hope it's not painful, at least. Or if so, at least just minimally painful. Preferably none at all. I personally prefer things that are not painful. Hey, this time I remembered to set my notoriety before going into my first mission. I'm clever. Jake Montoya. Who else do we have in the way of contacts that are available? Eagle Eye. We've finished up with him, I think. Shauna Stockwell. We don't know Graham Easton. He's annoying. We end up fighting a lot at Sioux. Alright. But we're going to go with Graham Easton, the museum curator. I'll be swearing at the Sioux, but only for as long as it takes me to get to level 20, and then I'll be playing another character. No idea which character that'll be, but it'll be one of them. It will definitely be one of my characters. A middle-aged man looking down alleyways nervously, clearly expecting something dangerous. When he finally notices you, he lets out a little yelp and jumps back. Ah! You nearly gave me a heart attack. You're Bruce's father, right? Oh, thank goodness. Give me a moment to catch my breath. Since I treated it so diligently, it seems to blister minimally. Yeah, if you put the ice on a burn, even a significant one, and keep it there. When I mentioned that I burned the hell out of my hand that one time, I kept ice on it for over an hour, and basically all it did was, a couple of days later, it just basically turned into sort of like a blister from a sunburn, in that it never really actually blistered, but the skin then just sort of came off. So it feels funny all the time, but you're fine. Bored with the Bruce father already? Well, what can I say? I have a short attention span. Are you all right? I'll be fine, Bruce. What I really enjoy is I enjoy leveling up and powering up a character. That's why I still will, oftentimes, if not always, pop into WoW when there's a new expansion or new content. Because the progression element always feels good. Make a new one. I'm going to bring out one of the older ones. I'm going to play one of the older ones. Probably something in the mid-levels, for me, which would be like 8 or 10, maybe 12. I'll be fine, Bruce Father. The man calms himself somewhat, holding his hand to his chest as he catches his breath. My name is Graham Easton. You may have heard of me. I'm fairly well known in the art community around Paragon City. I apologize for my reaction to you. I'm just jumpy lately, that's all. But can you blame me? Those men, they attacked my museum before it even opened. Can you imagine? Your museum was attacked by who? Ruffians wearing sedge hats and karate robes. I don't know who they were. Probably some disgruntled artists that didn't appreciate one of my articles. Did I mention that I'm one of the foremost art critics in Paragon? I've got a syndicated column in the Paragon Painter newsletter. Sedge hats and karate robes. Graham, that sounds like you were attacked by the Sioux. The Sioux? What's a Sioux? Never mind, just tell me what they took. Last rites, Part 1, Martial Arts Thieves. The hooligans stole an urn, one that was meant to be the centerpiece of my opening exhibit. The piece is titled Zlong Hnub So, which roughly translates Zlong's Day of Rest. It's priceless, but I doubt it would hold much value if they're here to resell. No, I'm sure that these people just want to sabotage my museum. Well, you're a hero, aren't you? What are you going to do about my urn? I'll retrieve it. Well, I'm glad. Just, don't touch the piece more than you have to. I'd prefer it be kept in proper condition for the exhibit next week. All right, let's speak with Detective Rogers. He might have some idea about what's going on. Fly. Fly. Detective Rogers? Hey there, Bruce Father. Got something on your mind? I was hoping you could help me track down a Sioux operation. My friend, depending on the neighborhood, you could be up to your ears in Sioux gangsters. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. They stole an urn from the Asian Art Museum. They'd have to store it somewhere. Oh, I get it. You're hoping to take a peek at their drop-off points. Those come and go pretty quick. I can take a look at what we have on file. Pulls out his mobile and fiddles with it for a minute. Wow, high-tech. You're in luck, my friend. It looks like we just got a tip this morning about the Sioux, using an abandoned warehouse out in Fool's Gold District, but not far from the museum they hit, so it's as sure a bet as any. Thanks, Rogers. And we're back off. So evidently you can turn a little bit in midair with the super speed. Not as much as you can with, say, super jump, but a little bit. Good evening, Axel. Welcome, bienvenue, willkommen, come on in. That's a movie reference. Sorcerers. Well, hit the sorcerers. Just getting ready for Master OD Behavior Adjustment Facility Incarnate Trial. Unsurprisingly, don't know that one. You can just add the combat jump from jumping, and that'll add air control. Oh, okay. I will keep that in mind. I got the important bits. You're doing a big-ass trial. For incarnating. Incarnation. First and easiest of the incarnate trials. What level do you do that at? What level do you start working on incarnate stuff? Ugh. Ancestor spirits. These guys are so freaking annoying. Trying to make a new character. Also, a stalker. Archetype I've never played before. They're really strong. That was my most played character for quite a while. Was a stalker. As always, the advantages you gain from having a stealth character. It is level 50? Okay. I have poked at the hero designer a little. I just installed it, reinstalled it the other day. I've had it in the past. In previous computers. What do we have? Alright, boys, get them. The advantages you get from a stealth character are pretty significant. Just like in most MMOs. The ability to realistically control most of the engagements anyway is a big deal. You can see what enhancements powers are by clicking powers and incarnate abilities. Yeah, I was reading up a little bit on one of the wikis about some of the sort of end-gamey abilities you get. I can't remember if it's the incarnate powers or not. Oh, batches of 4. Batches of 4! That suck. Everybody's still okay. Everybody's still up and at 'em, as it were. I have to find the Zhong Nub So. Ancestor spirits, we hate you. And you almost brought down Barry, you jerk. Fortunately, Barry's feeling much better now. Dragon Enforcer and a Sorcerer. Ah, the Sorks. The Sorks are the worst. They have the teleport. And they have their little portable hurricane. Alright, guys, get him. Since the Sorcerer went all the way up there. Did we get the Sorcerer? Nope, not yet. That's my level 20, so we'll finish out this quest and then we'll pop onto another character and play a different character for a time. After we train up, of course, because training is the fun. Shoot the serpent. Or as Hans says in Die Hard, I believe it's Schieß dem Fenster. Shoot the glass. Knockdown's fun. Alright. We lost the Protector. We will resummon the Protector. I hear a thrumming. I missed. Barry, low on health again. And Barry, he does like pushing people's buttons. I hear the thrumming. There are a number of mods to change that sound, by the way. the clicky, glowy sound. I kind of like this one. I'm not sure how I would feel about one that sounded like a vehicle backing up. So this should be over my head. Is everyone going to come up here correctly? Everyone? Good. Is it in here? It is. But the mission didn't end, so... So... So something. Clean out like this room and or the entire place. Oh, is there still one of them fighting? There is. Oh, we have to talk to him. There we go. He's trying to crawl away. The true warrior coughs raggedly, struggling to keep himself from collapsing. His whole body trembles. But you can't be sure if it's from exhaustion or rage. You will pay for this bruise, Father. The two cannot forgive this insult. Your time in this world will soon be at an end. Surely you expected this. You stole an urn from a warehouse. Stole? That urn does not belong in a museum, Bruce Father. It is more value than you could possibly know, but your ignorance is no defense. You've been marked. We will come for you. Enjoy your final days. Hero. This has been Len's Mystery Theater. I hope you've enjoyed it. Back to Graham Easton. Oh, we cleared the building. Almost. 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 Ouch. I don't know. It seems like sometimes... I guess there's a momentum in play where sometimes we can get going much faster and jump further. Yeah, there definitely is. Hi, Graham. Oh, goodness, that's it. That's the centerpiece of my exhibit. Oh, and it's barely marred at all. I expected those ruffians to manhandle the urn, you see. Men like that have no real appreciation for fine art. I'm thankful they, at least, saw enough value in it to keep it safe. Oh, Bruce, Father, you absolutely must come to the opening exhibit. If it weren't for you, I don't know what I would have done. I simply won't take no for an answer, Bruce, Father. This will be the grand opening that is soon to be the most prestigious museum in the entire city. And it's all thanks to you. You must attend. All of the most important and influential members of the local art community will be there. And I want to show you off to all of them. This will be wonderful, if you insist. Oh, but I do, Bruce, Father. You'll be the guest of honor. As thanks for your efforts. Plus, I may have already included you in some of the promotional materials I put together for the opening. But that's all fine now, because you're coming. But first... But wait, there's more. Ow. Made it. So I'm going to take this character back to Atlas Park, train him up at level 20, and rotate into another character. Not sure who. I have no idea who, actually. I had given it almost no thought at all. We have an animals mastermind up there. He has a big dog named Big Dog. And some wolves, and I think a lion? See what our options are. Nothing else. Maybe we get one of the leadership skills. Those ought to be good for a mastermind. At least my roleplay instincts tell me that they should. We'll sell the extension of Joule range item. Miss Liberty. Miss Liberty. Hi there. So, we do not have access to Call Bruiser yet. We could go with Reb Grenade or Acid Mortar or Poison Trap. Build a Poison Trap on the ground. Any foes that pass near the Poison Trap cause it to detonate and release its toxic vapors. The poison is very noxious gas, and any foes in the affected area may start to choke or even vomit. Okay. I'm trying to think of what game actually has... Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies. When there's a thing in the Star Wars canon, at least it used to be, now it wouldn't be prudent to be included in any of the Disney-friendly stuff, a thing called spice. Basically, drug. And smugglers like Han would be spice runners. And in-game it had where if you took spice, it would give you a buff of some kind for some length of time, and when it wore off, you'd get the spice down, and it would make you sick, and you'd get a debuff for some length of time. So at one point in the original game, I don't think it was even in one of the emulators, I was playing through and I was doing what's referred to as the Imperial Theme Park, which is a storyline, basically. And I had been fighting some tough fights, and I had been using spice. And so I then am going into the quest where you actually talk to Darth Vader and then eventually to the Emperor. And I step up to the Emperor's throne, and right then the spice down kicks, and I puke on his shoes. Affected foes' regeneration rate and attack rate will be reduced as well. The trap is almost impossible to detect, but it's fragile and may be set off by an enemy explosion, even if it's destroyed. The trap will detonate. Oh, that's nice. But again, they have to come to me, and most of my guys are doing damage at range. Whereas here, the mortar also only fires at range. Whereas, if I come over here, and I look at the leadership skills, we have maneuvers and assault. A good leader knows how to protect his team. When this power is active, the defense of yourself and all nearby... It increases the defense of yourself and nearby teammates to all attacks. Assault is for... it does the same for damage. It makes you resistant to taunts and placates. And tactics. While the power is active, you have a chance to hit, and that of all your nearby teammates is increased. Advanced tactics protect you and your team from confuse and fear effects. You must be at least level 14 and have one other level. Interesting. So the non-movement skills still have the you must be level 14 and have one other skill in the line. Used to be movement skills before you could take flight or super speed or super jump. You had to take one of the lower two. So for instance, for flight, it was hover. And so at the time, my standard tactic for most of my characters who would interested in taking flight would be to literally do a leap, and when you hit the top, you hit hover, and you'd be out of reach of melee attacks, so they could only use ranged attacks on you. And the non-ranged mobs meant that they were throwing rocks at you, so that was a good tactic to use. I think more defense would actually be quite favorable for my boys. Double check. Make sure it's right. Defense. Yep. Well, we now have defense. I'll give us all maneuvers. We earned a badge. The badge I earned Button Man Gunner badge, Keeper of Peace badge, and I can now respec my character if I choose by visiting Jack Wolf in Atlas Park. And now we can see my boys have got a little pink shield next to their name because they now have the effect, as do I, of maneuvers buffing our defenses. Very cool. Let's make sure we've equipped our thugs. We have. I'll park myself here for now. And we're quitting to character select. And this is the list on the server I have been playing, Indomitable, because it has the big XP bonus. So I'm going to move a character over from Everlasting because of the great big XP bonus. Colonel Panic. Computer joke, by the way. He's Electrical Blast Sentinel. Good old Antimatter. Another mastermind of mine. He's my robot mastermind. Funnelweb. Ernst Stavro Blofeld. He's my mercenaries mastermind. Now we're in the range more of what I was thinking. Gonad the Barbarian. Stupid humor. Dr. Dark Energy. Interesting. I haven't played him in a very long time. Gobsmacker is Sonic Attack. Plant Control Dominator. Gravity Control Dominator. Jimmy Joe Bob Musashi. Katana Scrapper. Midnight Eclipse. How about Dr. Dark Energy? I remember basically nothing about this guy. He's got a jetpack, so he's got flight. And he is presumably a technology-based character because, well, I mean, he's all metallic and stuff. He's actually a blaster, so he'll do a lot of damage, but he may be a bit on the vulnerable side. He's very vulnerable. And as I mentioned in a response on the YouTubes, time for me to start moving all of my characters to have the health bars down here in a more friendly fashion. He's using the Naruto run right now. One hand behind, the other hand sort of in front. I don't know why specifically I went for the Naruto ninja run, but I did. Let's take a look at his powers. In case, just in case, ranged damage smash also prevents them from jumping, flying, and reduces them defense. Shatter, ranged smash, rock shards, doom 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 doom. Rock shards, rock shards. Up thrust. Insert your own dirty joke here. Atomic manipulation, so he's seismic and atomic. Electron shackles. The Negatron slam. And ionize. Okay, so that is basically a short-term buff. Buffs my damage a lot, to hit by a little, I think. Negatron, melee, high-speed damage. Well, that's... Blasters are theoretically ranged, but they can do a lot of melee damage as well. And this is a hold and a mobilize. So yeah, that's a mez, basically. Up thrust, is that a PB AoE? No, targeted AoE. Okay. All right. Well, let's find out how he does. Keeping in mind that he hasn't done anything for quite a while. He's got fly, though, so we'll... As you would expect, fucking cool rocket pack. Let's see, invest Anderson Construction or recover Photon's equipment in Steel Canyon. Let's recover Photon's equipment in Steel Canyon. Good evening. Clearest sky. Now he's only level 12, so I'm going to take a quick second here. The superb Owl is at halftime, and the local team, my local team, is leading 10-3. Ganymede needs to talk to you in the Pocket D. This is I believe, a Valentine's Day quest, which is not of any particular interest to me. Of course, also not of a special interest to me. The superb Owl, if I was really that interested, I'd be watching. I have a rooting interest, but not a strong one. But their headquarters and their stadium are within a 5-minute drive. So naturally, I would either have some kind of interest or probably a hatred would be the two options if there's a local team living almost on your block. Okay, actual blaster gameplay here. And I missed with my first shot. Oh, okay, yeah, that one's pretty. I like that one. It's real pretty. And I missed again. And I missed again. Gotta say, favorite skill, obviously, up thrust. Not just for the dirty jokes, but probably mostly for the dirty jokes. Oh, can't use it. I hope everyone's Sunday is going reasonably well. And so far, every time I've tried to hit something with my fist, I've missed. It's like what? An atomic attack? Isn't that? Yeah, that's the Negatron Slam. Whoop, 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 whoop. I have to find Flambeau. Oh, I've done this one before. Just a couple of days ago I did this one. Lots and lots and lots of bots and bots and bots. Hey, I finally hit something with that big hit. I finally performed an adequate bonking on the head. So, seismic control. atomic manipulation. And a piece of advice I have given in the past, if you can't come up with a good name on your own, one thing you can always do is just go with a doctor something name or a professor something name. Oh, well, there's Flambeau and her friend. Spoiler, not actually a friend. Ow! And now, out come his little annoying little gear friend. I believe I destroyed all of his gears. No, I did not destroy all of his gears. They are instead being involved in destroying me. Flambeau, you are useless. Utterly and completely useless. This is not news. I'm going to take a quick knee. Blasters, historically, well, yeah, mess with the fire, you get the flame. Shut up and do some freaking fighting. Blasters, historically, back in the day, proverbially, as you might say, were often referred to as being spec'd for experience debt in the old game, and I think it's still in this game, although it's much less prominent. If you were defeated, killed, in essence, you were then teleported to the hospital and you gained XP debt. And what XP debt was, instead of losing XP, let's say instead of losing 200 XP, you'd get 100 XP debt. And the next 200 XP you earned, 100 of it would pay off the debt, and 100 of it would go to actually advancing. So basically you would be getting XP at half speed until you paid off the debt. I think, much more equitable solution to the incredibly stupid, going back to original Dungeons & Dragons version of losing XP when you died. Issue 4, you remember debt? Oh yeah, in the Hollows? Oh, absolutely. If you're playing solo and going to the Hollows, you can count on debt. I was in the game at launch, so I don't really remember any of the sort of variations that came with the game as far as the issues went. But I'm certainly glad we've been getting more issues. I think the guys generally have done a really good job. I could have sworn. I hear a thrumming. Must be over here. This corner. Up above, maybe. Sounds like it's above. Nope, nope, it's in the corner. As is true for me with most games, I always suffer a bit from short attention span. So I came and went a number of times during City of Heroes, City of Villains. The DOs and SOs at level 9. Well, I can understand why, though. In a lot of ways, the early part of the leveling process has always been... Well, it's one of the things that the game they fixed in live. That was not his equipment. By doing things like... Because originally you couldn't get a cloak until, I think, level 12. And you couldn't get your movement skill until level 14. At level 6, you'd get, like, hover. And then at level 14, you can get the movement skill. Was it a 20 mission? Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember. It's been so long. But they decided at some point, people create a new character, superhero, they want their cape. We'll give them the cape. They want a movement skill, I can understand why. The quality of play will be so much better if they can get a movement skill early. And so they made a lot of adjustments over time. And these guys have continued to make adjustments, and some of them they will be generally held to be successful, and some will not be. So I would be surprised if anyone felt they were all good. I just don't know enough about the specifics of where we were in the game when the game was live and where the game is now. Combat Access, the early development had better practice for teaching purposes. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. But then that's pretty common for a lot of MMOs. A lot of MMOs will really streamline the leveling. And the learning process will suffer, but the retention will improve. And so it's an understandable trade-off, even if it's not a trade-off you particularly care for. I mean, we face a lot of those of us who are game players, and presumably that's everyone in channel. We face a lot of trade-offs in the games we're going to play. And in a relatively niche game, you're probably going to have to, over time, enhance more trade-offs to keep the game alive, because keeping the game alive is more important. And, let's face it, this game wasn't alive for quite a length of time. And WildStar is gone, and I wish WildStar was still around, even if they had to make, additional changes and whatnot to improve the survival possibilities. Like for new players, I would urge people to go to Pretoria since the combat is harder. I know everyone says that. I have not found Pretoria to be particularly harder, maybe a little bit. The Syndicate and Destroyers are some tough groups, but not as face-wiping as a room full of Vaz. Now, that I agree with 100% about the Vaz. Yeah, the Vaz have effectively scarred me for life. The sound of their puking haunts my nightmares. I have weird nightmares. So yeah, as an example, in Guild Wars 2, there are some game systems that are really important that they don't actually teach you about, but they did put sort of they've made a couple of changes. One was the new player experience. There's a guide for the adventure guide, and you get XP for learning about things like break bars and dodging and combos. And they added an actual training area for it, but it's in one of the expansion areas. And I guess they put it in because they were hoping, some people were probably going to buy the expansion, the new expansion, which was End of Dragons, and start, and then immediately boost a character up to 80. And there is the training area where they would learn about break bars, combos, dodging. So there's definitely an advantage if you can find a way to teach people the important game mechanics while keeping it entertaining. Doing it inside the game, preferably. Where just playing the game will teach you without it being explicitly, okay, find the quartermaster and retrieve the power core, without it being explicitly a tutorial. Here's the tutorial. The boring tutorial. And there he is. That is the Clockwork Quartermaster. I think we get one more attack by a big boy when we're finished working with him. she runs off. She is such a help. Defeat the Dismantler squad. This guy is going to turn into gears. Just one? Just one gear, I guess. Better than 3 to 5. And here comes the big boy. And so we don't have to fight the gears that he's going to spout. We'll get out. Homecoming has a dilemma. Well, I mean, they have a number of things. It's, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens when they bring on a couple of the other servers out there and see what occurs with that, how that's going to work out. Scrappers and brutes have almost no purpose. Yeah, I can understand why you would say that. Although I have been really enjoying the Scrapper I've been playing for most of the last, 2 weeks. I mean, and to a degree, I think you could say that for blasters as well. In a lot of the time, I mean, that most of my characters are probably, I think, are Sentinels. Is because I've always enjoyed the blaster type gameplay, and this is blaster type gameplay. Sentinel is, but significantly chunkier. Contact twin shot. One man's treasure. Flambeau just got here yammering about how you needed help. Grim, however, spotted you leaving the building before she even made it here. Seems he was on hand to make sure you made it through this one intact. Next time you see him, tell that Wolfman he's definitely okay in my book. Listen up, kiddo. Remember those meteors that the Shivans were dropping from that day they attacked? Well, according to Proton, those things are going to be the key to stopping them from coming back one day and destroying the whole Earth. Seems that the stabilizer field of his can be reverse engineered to cause the inversion inside the meteors to do, well, something really mechanical. I have no idea how it works. Absolutely. What do you have in mind? We're going to fight bad guys. That's the short version. When it comes to single target damage, stalkers perform better than scrappers a majority of the time. In my experience, that is true. I've only played, I think, 1 or 2 stalkers, but yeah, their single target damage was extraordinary. And since the AoE buff, tankers do much more for mob management. Well, I can see that as well. Although I have enjoyed playing bruisers. Complete Proton's combat tests. Well, that's going to be right over here. Back to Manticore's mansion. And hopefully, well, I mean, obviously they're going to create imbalances, as many as they're going to, well, probably not as many. They hopefully will be removing more imbalances than they create over time. And hopefully over time, those sort of imbalances will also get fixed. Okay, I'm getting feed now. Dr. Dark Energy, I'm down here in the lab. Right. First group you'll encounter, a group of programs that look like a group of mooks. The family. Mooks. Nice machine gun. Shame if something were to happen to it. Don't know what might happen to it, but it'd be a shame. Ow! I shrugged off those. It didn't hurt at all. Take a quick knee. Mission failed. Could not conjure up a stalker. Went with a blaster instead. My stalker was for a long time my most played character. He's at 26 or 28. He's named the Big Stick because he walks quietly and carries a big stick. Got him. Good old Blaster. Nothing beats Blaster. He likes to swim naked in ponds. Well, it can't be a Candiru because I already have that name. Roll Scrappers and Brutes into a new archetype. Damage resist cap like 85. Their build-up has a 20-second buff of mini crits and fury mechanic. Well, I mean, if you think you've got solid ideas, I don't know how much the developers listen to suggestions, but I certainly don't know enough to comment cogently. As any of the nuts and bolts that I knew back then have been pushed out. New stuff comes in this ear, and the old stuff gets pushed out the left ear. I like to joke that you've probably heard of RAM. You have it in your computer. Random access memory, which means that you can access any part of the memory however you want. Then there's ROM, read-only memory, and that's where the low-level system stuff lives. Then there's what I have, write-only memory, where I remember something, and then I can never recall it again. Do not recommend. Because then you have an all-rounder melee archetype, which would be good. Beginner-friendly. Brute's pretty beginner-friendly, and is like the Ryu, good control makes them shine, but they're easy to play. So low cap, high ceiling class. Sorry, low floor, high ceiling. There we go. Oh, I have to finish, don't I? No, I have to fight the Vaz. I didn't have to be Vaz. I know, they're not real. They're just simulations. As long as they don't have simulated puke, I'm probably okay. No exploding for you. There will be no exploding, young man. Your mother and I have talked to you about this. Both the Scrappers, where the ATO doesn't work half the time, and they have internal interaction with the passive outside of a 9mm enhancement. You're way over my head on the technical details. Okay, next up, Outcasts. Let's make sure we don't miss. Ow. Hurt a little bit. Stalker can interact with their Assassin Strike in and out of Hide, and they gain crit chance per ally. Ah, I didn't know about that crit chance per ally. Certainly the Assassin Strike. I remember that one. And the best thing about this superpower is not only can I summon enormous spikes of earth come out through the floor, I repair the floor when I'm done. It's just the kind of thoughtful person I am. Twin Shot is under attack by Alternate Universe Clockwork. I'm stunned. I'm being hit while I'm stunned. I'm not a fan of this. I feel that it seems to be a good time for me to use a heal. Twin Shot has woken up. Flat 10% crit on lieutenants and above, 5% for everything else, and the ATO, when it procs, makes the next chance improved by 50%, but it can fail. Ah! And that's a 9 million enhancement. Yeah, if it fails, can fail is a bad thing for something requiring that kind of investment. Also, bump, bump. I didn't change servers. I'm not getting the XP bonus. I didn't change servers because I'm a dope. For those who have not done it, you can change servers, I believe, 5 times a week amongst all of your characters combined. And given the extra 100% XP right now, you know, brutes just hit things and more damage happens. Simple is as simple does, that's for sure. Yep. Where were we? Where were we? Come on, Dr. Dark Energy. This is how easy it is to transfer character to another server. This reminds me of Rift in how easy it is to transfer servers. It's click. Yep. Indomitable. Use token. Character's been transferred. Indomitable. Dr. Dark Energy. That is how expensive in WoW? $40? And this game is how old? Contact Twin Shot. Well, I've given Proton all the data, and he looks relieved. He says, calculating success probabilities and all that. I asked him what would happen if we just ran in there shouting our names. We'll just say he was horrified. We'll get the next mission from her. Count on me, blah, blah, blah. And we'll now head back, and we'll take care of the Shauna Stockwell mission in Kings Row. So the fact that Rift and a game like this can offer character movement between servers that easily, that painlessly, just tells you how deeply awful Blizzard is that they want to charge $40 for that. I think it's $40 to move characters. Oh, we've got a mission from her already. Anderson Consulting, construction, whatever. A new archetype where we built up a series of mini crits for 20% damage happens unaffected by Fury, and 15 seconds would be fair to both stalkers and tankers. I can't say I have spent much time on the forums for Homecoming, but they must have suggestions out there. A suggestions forum, right? Make your case. I have no idea how amenable they are, but they must have the forum. one problem you see in the Star Wars Galaxies community, because I currently have 5 different Star Wars Galaxies servers installed. Clients for it, I should say. And that's the kind of splintering of the player base that I don't think serves the Star Wars Galaxies community particularly well. And I guess I'm a little bit afraid of it here. So it's one of the things I like about the fact that the Homecoming guys are bringing in at least a couple of the other bigger servers. Again, I don't know the details about it, but hopefully we can, if we can keep a community of servers alive, it's a win for all of us. Hi. I'm going to hit you really hard. Feel free to take a nap. So I don't think that's going to happen here with the City of Heroes community. Yeah, it is, because, if NCSoft changes their mind, obviously, that would be not optimal. Let's see, I need to stop the Paradine shipment. I don't think I need to beat those guys up. That's a dead end. I don't need to beat them up. I need to beat these guys up. Hi, how you doing? Holy crap, the range on that is really, really long. I like it. Well, certainly understandable. We were not, any of us, big fans of NCSoft when they shut it down. But I do think it's important that in this particular instance, certainly the Homecoming team spent years, and I had figured already that they'd given up. But there were people at NCSoft who went to bat for this too. It had to go through legal, it had to go through management. And so, I think certainly being leery and wary of NCSoft is both understandable and wise. Also, I think we have to acknowledge that at least somebody at NCSoft was willing to put the work in. And I am grateful for that. And my one thing I would say to NCSoft, WildStar, please. WildStar. I mean, look at all the goodwill you've created. Imagine if you guys opened up the source code for WildStar. I believe we now get to fight Chernobog. Yep. Keep moving those containers. We haven't got all night. Bad Russian accent forthcoming. Steel yourselves. Dr. Dark Energy. My brother, he tells me not to hunt you. He tells me killing you would be bad for business, that it isn't the right time. Maybe that's true. Maybe. Unfortunately for you, I never had a good mind for business. Where you going, Chernobog? Surely you're not afraid of little old Dr. Dark Energy. Victory is mine. Score if they have it. Aren't selling anyone again. I do remember score. Oh, we have finished off that mission. Another 2 missions or so, we get Veles. We took care of the last night? The previous night? Contact Shauna. And that's another level. Introduced to a new contact. Good old Eagle Eye. Well, I'm headed there anyway. To train up. Let's go ahead and use the afterburner. Shitty ASMR. You're welcome. It's blue steel. Yeah, I'm going to double my prices. So that's how I'm going to charge extra. How about a couple of points into upthrust? Oh my. That sounds dirty. Hi, Eagle Eye. Oh. I forgot to set my notoriety. I'm going to take just a moment. The thing most Americans care about, the halftime show, is over. Alright, the Lords of Death, Part 1, Knock Knock. Who's pushing me around? I realize I'm a superhero? Listen, Dr. Dark Energy, the regulators aren't what we used to be. Hell, I know I look pretty ridiculous putting on my old costume right now. The people need to see heroes out in force, now more than ever. But that's why I want you to represent the regulators here in Kings Row. To give all those people that lost everything in Galaxy City a ray of hope. I'm committed to this, even if it is just you and I. Unfortunately, things are pretty dark at the moment. The Skulls have taken it in the teeth, and their leader, Veles Petrovic, isn't taking it laying down. With his brother Chernobog behind bars, thank you, that was me, the hero. Veles is striking out with a vengeance at anything that threatens his gang. New legislation to crack down on Sparadine dealing here in Paragon City has apparently caught his attention, and in response, we've had a string of assassinations against city officials that have supported it. Veles' scare tactics look like it might just do the trick, silence the city. So he wants me to check in on Councilman Hammett. Is his first name Dashel by any chance? Good old Cryptic. Every other MMO ever, Numlock is run or move forward at a constant pace. It's R in the Cryptic games. And this one is a goofy mission. As we've arrived, something isn't right. On the floor, inside, you see the bodies of both PPD officers and mob goons. So the police and the mob both getting pwned, so to speak. I will take the elevator up. Second floor, lingerie, power tools, pet supplies. Another elevator. More bodies. Well, I'm here to protect you, Councilman Hammett. I'm here to protect... Oh. Yeah, that's not going to buff out. I will begin to fly. And we'll examine the cause of death. There's a clue found. The Lords of Death are watching. And the mob and the Lords of Death are coming. Fortunately, you can just run away. Mind you, this isn't like a cowardly running away. This is a smart, tactical retreat for everyone's own good kind of runaway. Right? It's important you know the difference between those two things. This is the brave kind of running away, not the cowardly kind. Would be good. There we are. This is a tactical reassessment and pulling back to protect important assets. My ass. Assets. Eagle Eye. XP, see? Don't beat yourself up about it. You did everything you could with the information we had. Yeah, he was already dead when I got there. I did do everything I could. Some old contacts. Councilwoman Simmons just finished a press conference demonizing the Skulls for their assassination of Councilman Hammett. We're off to Simmons' office. This mission is of higher difficulty than normal. You may want to bring a teammate. I don't find this one especially hard. But there's one coming up that is significantly hard. Because fighting a red elite boss is no joke. Velas himself. The family has goons all over this building. Have you arrived too late? Hi, guys. Have I arrived too late? Nice machine gun you got there. I'm going to take a knee. And by take a knee, I mean I'm going to kneel down on a single knee. I'm not like I'm going to, carve them open and take their knees. Although that is the kind of thing that Red Rain Ripper would do. Untidy, but pretty typical. Those guys can stay up there. Did that hurt? How about that? Mobsters. Pfft. Again, take a quick knee. Even though I've got my shockwaves heading out from me. Can definitely feel the fragile nature of the blaster. But also the high damage. Where do you think you're going? Sunshine. Oh, he fell over. More elevators. Pardon me while I elevate. Got him? Oh, we've got... these guys want to play too. How you boys doing? Oh, more boys. A little bit low on the old energy here. Let's chug a lug. A little energy skittle. And take a quick knee. I'm so tired. It's exhausting beating the crap out of mobsters. Cheap mob punks. My XP buff wore out. I need to speak to one of the pay-to-win vendors, as I'm continuing to fail in my efforts to maximize my experience by being a great big dope. Let this be a lesson to you, boys and girls. Don't be a big dope. Keep your being a dope to a moderate amount of dopiness. You'll be glad you did. That hurt a little bit. Not gonna fib. Got it. I completely understand. Most Americans are watching the game. I can't bring myself to watch any game that I give a crap about anymore. I get too worked up. I'm one of the, you know, those sports assholes? Yeah, I'm one of those. So I don't watch anymore. I find I don't get worked up if I don't watch. So I'm, you know, occasionally popping in to see what the score is, like right now, let's say. Still 10-3. 4th and 1 at the Kansas City 11 for the 49ers. I don't know if they're going to go or not. That would normally be an exciting thing, but back to the game. Back to my game, anyway. Yeah, still 10-3. As a only semi-interested party, I'm glad it's a good, interesting game, and I hope it maintains that. I prefer the 49ers win, but it's not a big deal. Although everyone in the immediate area will be happier if the 49ers win. So I have always said this to people, friends of mine who aren't sports fans, is from a purely practical point of view, you should hope for the local team to win because it puts people in a better mood. And people in a better mood are generally nicer than people who are in a crappy mood. Kill you? No, I'm here to protect you. Family goons, wait, what do I feel what? And it's Morana. Hi, Morana. Dr. Dark Energy, do you feel his cold, dark hands? Not really feeling the cold, dark hands yet. Okay, she hits pretty hard. Oh, she missed that time, though. Good news for me. The Lords of Death are watching. Yeah, blah, 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 Lords of Death. 30 minutes from Buffalo, and you're a Jets fan. Ooh, yeah, you see, obviously, you're going to want the Jets to win. The people in Buffalo are not. So even if you hate the Bills, it makes sense to root for them to do well, just so you don't have to put up with the bullshit, moaning and groaning. Better them cheering than moaning and groaning to you all the time. As a Jets fan, you know pain that they have no idea about. Your secret is safe with me. Most of my sports viewing these days, I hate to say it because I sound like a bitter, nasty, ugly old man, which is true. Most of my sports that I pay attention to, I do it through Schadenfreude. I root for a couple of teams, but not a lot. But I root against a lot of teams and owners and individual athletes a lot. It's not nice. But I imagine most sports fans understand. Yeah, well, the Bills have had their ill fortune, but they've at least come close. You're a Jets fan. You know pain. 79, I would like to see the Jets win a Super Bowl before you die. Or good evening, Pitbull. Or how about at least have a nice winning season? When was the last one of those? When Sanchez was quarterback? God have mercy on your soul. Yeah, the Jets fan is amongst the most tortured sports fans. Now that the Cubs and the Red Sox got theirs, there are few that know pain like the Jets fans. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I watched the Jets win their Super Bowl, but I was alive for it. I probably did and just don't remember it. Like, I don't specifically remember watching the Packers Super Bowls, but I probably did because my older brother was a big Packers fan. Eagle Eye, talk to me. The Lords of Death Part 2, Deadly Little Girl. Things are definitely getting interesting. I learned from my contracts that Frost and his family have been meeting with the city council representatives for the past few days, trying to drum up support to fight Sparadine, all in the name of clearing his family's good name. Apparently the Skulls have told Frost and his family to find someone else to peddle their drugs for them, and the Skulls have found their own way of making Sparadine, cutting out their reliance on Frost and his suppliers. Now Frost wants to teach them a lesson, so he's going to make it very hard for the Skulls through political backroom dealing. All that's fine and dandy, but we have something more important to deal with. They're bumping off city councilmen, but we've got something more important. Okay. We need to find out where Velis and his skulls are getting their Separadine and shut it down. I'm afraid that squeezing gangbangers on the streets just isn't going to cut it this time. You need me to go deep undercover. I'm going to go deep undercover. City council is all corrupt, so bumping off a few isn't such a big deal. Well, yeah, but it kind of makes the heroes look bad. Even if they're corrupt. Oh, I don't actually need to take a monorail anyway. By the way, how many people here have ever been on a monorail? Disneyland, but it's a monorail. Let me tell you, I had some strange requests before. This one takes the cake. You sure you want to go undercover with the skulls? Yeah, let's go. I'm going undercover as a skull. There you go. Pitbull has been on a monorail. Many, many times. In a place other than Disneyland, because that's the only place I've ever even, I think, seen one. So I am dressed up as a skull, and I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to beat the crap out of a skull. Other than Disneyland, but it wasn't. But it was at a theme park. Oh, okay. Similar deal then. We got to come up here and convince him to give us a fight. Bone Dust. So I hear you want to try and join the ranks of the Bone Daddies. That's right. I'm ready. Well, you sound ready, but only surviving the ribcage proves whether you are or not. I told you. I'm ready. You know, you lose the fight, you lose your life, right? A true skull isn't afraid of death. Well said. Sorry, I've ruined my throat now for the night. Go and talk with the fight organizer. He'll set you up with a match. A true skull isn't afraid of death. Warriors, come out and play. Movie reference. BART airport connector called a monorail amongst us retired. Ah. Oh, Finola. How you doing? Live in North Carolina, and there's an amusement park here that's been going since you were 5 years old. Monorail for decades. Makes sense. Give me a fight. I want to fight. I'm going to fight to the death. So I'm going to just kill somebody here so I can, because I'm undercover. No problem. Let's go. Oh, that had to hurt. I'm not sure if it hurt more than the gunfire, but it probably had to hurt. That's all I'm saying. Oh, no, not now. Yes, the police have shown up. Need to ask for power set suggestions. Oh. You see, for me, it's usually if there's like a new power set. This is the police. All right, where do we need to go here again? This way, I think. Yeah. I grab the power set name and I find something based on the name. I gotta say, this one is less inspired than many of mine. Dr. Dark Energy for seismic and atomic manipulation. Theme for the character that I want. I can't think of a good secondary. Yeah, the secondaries can be tough. A lot of times I'll just go with sort of a neutral one. So for instance, like for a melee character, I'll grab willpower or regeneration because they're not really thematic specifically. we don't actually fight Veles here. He runs off. The next fight we get is with the real Veles fight. Damage of a blaster, so you need a good blaster secondary to fit the theme. This character is a sentinel, made it as a sentinel and a corruptor, but you really want the damage of a blaster, so you could blaster secondary for the theme. Well, theme me. I may have picked up a little bit more than I can chew here, so let's see. Oh, that was nice. I think I crit him. And it's a good thing, because otherwise I was in trouble. Also might still be in trouble. No. I managed to take care of him. Blastering. Name is WizKid. Water blaster, and his power is tinted yellow. I see what you're doing there, and I can't say I don't approve. Let's see. I can't remember the secondaries off the top of my head. I can't remember the list of the secondaries for blasters. I mean, I know there used to just be a relatively limited number, but they've added and put in more options where they've sort of added a lot of the old powers from other power sets as secondaries and stuff like that. Poison would work, definitely. Isn't a poison option. Okay. Is there an air option? Because that way you've got the front and back working. Working on your controller was one back in the day. Really liked it a lot. Slow. Yeah, the advancement on it is going to be very slow. One suggestion I can have, depending on your level, to get a couple more damaging skills, if you go to the pay-to-win vendor, they have a wand and a staff that you can use. The staff hits pretty hard and has a knockback, and they're called Black Wand, and I can't remember the name of the staff. And just to have a couple more attacking skills, you might find that helpful. I always liked the playstyle of controllers back in the day, but they were so slow to level. Oh, God. Atomic, Devices, Darkness, Earth, Martial, Mental, Ninja, Plant, Sonic, Arrow, Temporal. To go with water-based and urine. Maybe atomic. This guy's atomic manipulation. I can show you the skills. I've got electron shackles, which is a mez. A big fisting knockdown, knockback. And then this is a sort of like one of the big damage boosts, small to hit boosts. Ice would work. Whiz Kid. You could go Sonic, as in you also then have the sound of whiz. Tack Arrow doesn't seem to really work for me. Mental, you could go Mental, where it's entirely his mental self-control that allows him to manipulate urine. Or you add fire and you make sure that his actual first name is Pierre. You're not going to beat that one. Life isn't safe, little sister, but your concern is touching. And now the 49ers are behind. 13-10. Just that fast. Got him. Got her. Got him. Take a quick knee. Darkness, earth, energy, electricity. Yeah, nothing else really sings. I can see where you're having problems with it. Devices, maybe. That's just sort of a fallback secondary. There's a regular guy who needed, his science experiments went wrong. Water Rad, Sentinel on Everlasting, Atomic Melee would fit well. Yeah, that would work. Basically, he gained his power through exposure to radiation, and they want to play too. Why does everybody want to play? Again, due to the fragile nature of being a blaster, frequent taking a knee is involved. Got the idea when you had to change your toddler's diapers 7 times in one day, making him around 15-year-old, and he just has bladder problems. Yeah, well, I mean, as an old guy, I can sympathize. I'll note, I do not, as of yet, have exactly that problem, but I can sympathize. I do have to frequently get up in the middle of the night for the obvious reason. Would you? Thank you. Another quick knee. No, I have to approve of the Whiz Kid name and conception. That's a good one. The dripping yellow slime aura. Oh, okay. Yep. Frequently hangs out around Ms. Liberty asking players if they happen to have a mop. How to make friends and influence people. I, too, am an expert. I missed. That is my level. Level 14. Alright, we take care of these guys, and then we fight the boss who shows up. But we've got the buff, so we want to go right now. We've got the level up buff, we want to go. Okay, and now we need to defeat Backbreaker. Who's going to show up over here? Come on, Backbreaker, come on. I still got my buff. Oh, there he is. That's right, use your darkness on me. Punk. Think I'm afraid of you? Backbreaker. You got backbreaking, I do rock breaking. And we have defeated him. Where did Velas go? He won't tell us. Off to the... Tell me where the lab is, scumbag. Deliver a message to Velas for me. Tell him, when you see him in hell, tell him he underestimated Dr. Dark Energy. Knock him out. When you see him in hell, and then I knock him out. I don't kill him. I'm not really that dark, am I? I'm Dr. sort of dim energy. Well, I have to train. Well, Eagle Eye's close enough. And once again, we hit the afterburners. More shitty ASMR. Also, I'm the world's worst Foley artist. We have the Disintegrator. Gale Force. That's an. I admire that one. As a guy who has antimatter and 3 Mile Eileen. Her name is Gale, and she's Gale Force. That works. Yep, definitely works. I will train to a new level of power. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. Positron cell encases a single target in a cage made of positrons. The radiation emitted slowly hurts the victim, inflicting energy damage over time. The encased victim is held helpless and unable to defend themselves, in addition to being surrounded by positively charged. It does moderate damage, and it's a root, and I guess actually a mez, realistically. Took a look at your bot's MM and refreshed my memory on the name. Codename Das Maschinenmeister. Yeah, I believe you said that. Yesterday? Or was it, does it include the code name? Because that one works. Codename something definitely works. I have my only character at the cap in Champions Online is Project Chrome. And he's sort of an Iron Man-alike. So, let's see. Entomb. Entomb foes in a giant boulder, dealing high damage and lowering their defenses. They'll also become heavy, limiting their ability to jump or fly. Entomb grants 2 stack of seismic pressure. Seismic force greatly increases your attack's chance to hit for a few seconds. Slightly increases damage. Ionize is the one that greatly increases the damage and slightly increases your chance to hit. Seismic force is the opposite. Greatly increases your chance to hit and slightly increases your damage. If affected by seismic shockwaves, this power will halt the shockwaves and will decrease the cooldown of all recharging seismic blast attacks. That's interesting. So it's got a built-in cooldown mechanic. Real name, Dr. Heinrich von Stauffenkock. Needs a couple more syllables, but other than that, yeah. I think I'm going to go with Entomb. And before I forget, I need to go back to the pay-to-win vendor. And get the XP buff. Before I forget more. Show me your wares, which sounds dirty. It really does. Experience booster. There we go. Let's check our enhancements. See if we've got nothing. We are at 14 now. Nothing really usable. Doom, 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 doom. But I can buy some. Let's see how much I've got in the way of influence here. There we go. 99,109. What could we use? Let us check. Okay, I could see, let's say, an accuracy, 2 accuracies, 3 accuracies, 4 accuracies. 5 accuracies, 6 accuracies. Oh, no, I don't need one there. I've got 1. It's not great, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accuracies is probably be pretty good. Cost me 30,000 of my roughly 100,000. Just less likely to miss. And less likely to hit is an effective, significant increase in DPS. Twin shot. Destroy the meteors. Ooh, we're going to destroy the meteors. Whether it's meaty or not. Yeah, I don't know why meteors would be meaty. But if they were, I know, cloudy with a chance of meatballs, okay? Those would be meteors. Very, very meteors. That's right. I've got to go to Steel Canyon, I think, to catch the van to take me. But not Swedish meteor. Swedish meatballs are no fucking joke. They are delicious. My mom had a recipe from her mom, who was full-blooded Swede, and they were incredible. And I'm going the wrong way. Mission. Destroy the meteors. Now, I have had the Swedish meatballs. IKEA, right? Has them? Once at IKEA. They were good, but they're not as good as my mother's / grandmother's. Perez Park today, you talked to NPC posted outside Galaxy City, came to realization that the meteor storm has been going for about 13 years. You'd think they'd be able to get that area reopened to the public by now. Not if they keep falling. Meteors are no joke. Just say no. 49ers now in the lead. Looks like it's at least a good game this year. A Fortunata Seer. Hello, Fortunata Seer. How unfortunata for you that I'm here. Kapow! Hey kiddo, hope you brought your game face. Yeah, shut up with the kiddo stuff, really. Alright. I can fly. We'll avoid bothering those two fine fellows, or three fine fellows. And we'll head right over here, where we'll meet Grim and Dillo. And now we click the clicky, and a couple of supervillains show up. These are the supervillains from the similar story chain on the bad guy side. These were added post-release to help introduce certain game concepts. Continued. Onward, Doctor of Dark Energy. Thanks, guys. I will continue onward. Over here we have Flambeau and... is it Proton? Yeah, it is Proton. And again, we press the button, and this time we get 3 supervillains to show up. Crosscut, Dollface, and Omnicore. Two down. And one more over here. Over here. Dum-ba-dum! Think you can just walk away? Not an option, soldier. Don't you soldier me, you of all people. I'll speak with you later, Rochelle. Boyfriends and girlfriends. First wave. I think there's a total of 3 waves coming. Bam-ba-dam. Leadership buff, I think. Yes, yes it is. I have. Wish it would pop up a little faster. Where's the next wave, guys? Guys. Oh, there we are. Okay. Two waves, bam-ba-da. And here comes Manticore to not save the day, as the day didn't need saving. I had it handled. Hi, Manticore. Manticore, trying to talk to Manticore. Defeat the stock. Do we have one more wave coming? I don't think so. I think it's just the 3. Manticore. Manticore. Okay. Heap up it down. Guys. We having server issues all of a sudden? Guys? Okay, yeah, you've wadded. I heard you go invisible again, but, oh, there is one more wave. All right, that was only taking forever. I have no idea what that was. Come over here. He needs to talk. Blah, blah, blah. The signal came from inside our base, so the betrayer is one of us. Okay. Mission complete. Badge earned. The brightest sun and the tourist badges were both mine. I wouldn't say I'm the brightest sun. I'm a pretty bright sun. Which is to say, fairly bright, not pretty and bright. Two very different things. I'm back. We contact... Twin Shot, I guess. It doesn't say exactly who I'm supposed to contact, but I'm going to assume that it's Twin Shot. Where am I exactly? I'm there. That monorail is closer. We will fly to the closer one, because flying to the further one would be silly. I don't know. It looked like I had... Well, maybe they were both set for Steel Canyon. That would make sense. Actual COH game lore, not in-game story, but lore about the community around City of Heroes. Which has always been a very active community in my experience. More XP. So I guess you caught that good chunk of my conversation with Eddie. Awkward! I knew him way back when, kiddo. He and I went separate ways a long time ago. It was a bit of a shock to see him again, you know? I can tell you, Galaxy was the last place I expected him to show up. Anyway, that's part of my past. It's well behind me now. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Oh, Muffin! You don't want to talk about it! So it'll be a while before we get another set of missions from her. Know that the coyote outbreak in the tutorial was put there as a tribute to a forum member that was always helpful. I believe passed away. Doesn't surprise me. A lot of times, game devs will try and tip the cap, especially to former players, especially former players who were active in the community who pass away. So I didn't know, but it doesn't surprise me. Detective Becktrees, I think we talked to him and he gives us the police radio. Kings Row, yeah. I have a little trivia about, well, wow. One of my guildies set up the first blue tracker for the dev tracker. Bluetracker.com was his website. Eventually, once an actual dev tracker was up on in the forums, he turned his off. He was also the first WoW player to hit the currency cap in WoW, which is, I believe, 31 bits of copper. So that was 1,000 million billion. I think it was 2 billion copper. So 200 K gold. He did it by arbitraging gems when gems came into the game. He basically, while he was at work, he'd have his personal computer sitting next to him. He's doing his work. He'd lean over, spend 30 seconds every like 2 hours posting additional gems or buying anyone who undercut him, and basically cornered the market for gems on our server scenarios. And over the course of a few months, that's how he was the first guy, at least first that I'm aware of, to hit the salary cap, or the currency cap. If you go to the center of Steel Canyon around the corner from Battle Maiden, there's an NPC named Ascendant. He was a player on Freedom on live that would hang out at the tram and have conversation macro set up. They copied his dialogue and put him in Steel Canyon. That's very nice. I like that. That's got to be one of the little delights that you get as a game dev, is you do get to do some special stuff. You get to drop Easter eggs in. You get to, pay tribute to players who make an impact. Historically, WoW has done that quite well, I think. Thank goodness it's Dr. Ask about this contact, police liaison. Did that give me the... That did not give me. I'm supposed to talk to him. He hasn't got anything for me? Leave. Fine. He doesn't have anything for me. Jerk. Maybe it's Detective Rogers who has the police radio, since I don't have it yet. Oh, he's in Steel Canyon. No. Is it this guy? Freitag? Busy with the current investigation. You have to speak with Detective Becktrees. I'm sure he'd be happy to help you. Yeah, he wasn't. So I don't know. Maybe... Oh, it's inactive. I already have it done. Dope. Those are detectives. Somehow I clicked on that. Never mind me. Once upon a time I was smart. Now I'm just old. I wonder if any of the old City of Heroes devs play on Homecoming or any of the other private servers. Maybe if you work on a game, you just kind of lose some chunk of your interest in the game. I don't know. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me for the ones who really, really enjoyed the game. But I can certainly also understand the old joke about sausage. If you ever watch sausage getting made, you'll never want to eat sausage again. Well, I think I'm going to call it here for the evening. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. As always, I am very appreciative. The stream is better when you guys are here, especially if I have an active chat. But if you're just lurking, that's great too. I'm happy to have you do that. Oh, I'm certain it was one of the devs that absconded with the code. Absolutely. That absconded with the test server code and leaked it. Yeah, that is a slam dunk. This character's on Indomitable, yes. Well, you want to show me your character? I will continue my end of stream babble. I should be back tomorrow at my usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, for more City of Heroes. Probably will not be playing this. See the guy that just talked. The Whiz Kid, excuse me, Dr. Dark Energy, would you happen to have a mop? Aha. Okay. The dripping is horrifying, so well done. Oh, you're in luck. Very nice joke. If you want to go a little bit level higher on the meta, wear a top that allows for symbols and put a capital P. That's my suggestion. The dripping is really appalling. That's horrifying. Well done. Very well done indeed. By which I mean, that's awful. Awful well done. So, I'm going to be back tomorrow. More City of Heroes. Probably a different hero than this. Don't know who. I have a wide selection to choose from. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out. The rubber boots I hadn't considered. Also, very good option. It looks like you've got rubber gloves on as well. Those will clean up more easily, so that's a smart call. So that will be for tomorrow. Tuesday, I have some errands to run. It's possible I might not be here, but I should be. Wednesday is Valentine's Day, and as is tradition around my place, I'll be enjoying a great many alcoholic beverages and probably playing more City of Heroes. In the not-too-distant future, on the 21st and leading up to it, the 21st is the launch of Last Epoch, a new ARPG that's been in early access for a few years. I have 350 hours in it. It's a really good game. I will be playing that for a couple of days before and some number of days after. And that launches on the 21st. I have, for the first time in a long time, I have a launch boner for Last Epoch on the 21st. Looking forward to it. But I should be back tomorrow at the regular time. I hope the rest of your Sunday night goes great. And as always, I like to set an achievable goal for the people who watch my stream, so I hope your upcoming week doesn't suck. I'm back tomorrow. Have a great night tonight. Take care. Hopefully you'll see me soon. I'll catch you next time. And ciao for now.